Good morning, tribe. My name is Shonda. I am going to be your guide through your Hatha practice today. So go ahead and grab your mats, your water, and we'll get started right away. So coming on to your mats, let's start today in a little bit of a hero's pose, or also known as thunderbolt sometimes. So if it's comfortable for your knees, you can also have a blanket. Actually, I'm going to grab a hair tie and blanket really quick. Thanks for being patient with me there. So if you have a blanket, you can either have the blanket on the mat for your knees to support just a little bit underneath the knees. You want to keep the knees nice and protected here. Also, if you have another blanket or you don't, like it hurts your knees to be sitting like that, you can also place a blanket kind of right below the knee joint, and then just kind of create some padding for the calves and whatnot there. So just find what feels nice and comfortable for you. That's how we're going to start out today. If that is completely unavailable to you, of course, listen to your body. Come into easy seat, Sukhasana position, or legs can come out long on the mat, just whatever feels really good for you. So we'll start. We're going to have a 30-minute practice today, so we're going to start fairly quickly. Let's just find some centering and grounding. Allow the shoulders to soften down the back. Feel the sit bones connecting to the heels. Starting to process that parasympathetic nervous system. So here we're looking to move away from the busyness of life, to-do lists, any mommy hats or work hats, or in general life hats you've had to wear this morning, and just allowing ourselves to come to our breath in our present moment. So begin to notice the breathing. The allergies are really bad for me today, so I have a bit of a stuffy nose. So just do your best to notice these things without judgment. Notice if there's holding within the breath, perhaps holding in the mind. Perhaps there's some holding within the body. Softening around the edges, releasing judgment, and just being a neutral observer. Continue to sit up nice and tall, pressing the sit bones into the surface beneath you. Allow the spine to grow long and tall. Creating space between each vertebrae. The chin slightly tucks in, the crown of the head lifts up, shoulders draw away from each other. Heart is lifted and chest is lifted, heart shining forward. Begin to deepen the breath. Inhaling into the abdomen, allowing the abdomen to expand in the front, the back, and both sides. Allow it to float up through the ribs and the chest. And then exhaling, allowing the breath move down through the chest, the ribs, and then drawing the navel up and in. You should be able to hear the breath as it draws in through the nose. If you wish, you could bring a little Ujjayi breath, ocean's breath here. by constricting gently the back of the throat, extending the inhalations and exhalations. Focusing on the breath, allowing any thoughts to pass through, giving them some awareness, some acknowledgement, and allowing them to pass through. Allow the breath to return to neutral, natural, rhythmic breathing. And softly open the eyes, preparing for our practice today. Make our way onto our hands and knees, coming into tabletop position. So again, finding that little foundation, fingers spread nice and wide, palms and hands pressing firmly into the mat, knees below the hips and about hip distance apart. Core drawing up and in, nice flat back. Crown of the head reaching forward. Begin with a few cat-cow movements. So inhaling, lifting the tailbone, allowing the navel to reach down towards the mat. Lift the chin and the gaze. Exhale, tuck the chin in, round into the upper back. The cat. Inhaling cow. And exhaling cat. Let's take a moment to just find any organic movement that feels good for you. Find some fluidity and flow within your breath, allowing the breath to then create space for movement within the body. So you can sit the hips back to the heels. Inhale, really lengthen and extend through the chin and the gaze. Finding your own rhythm, your own flow. Perhaps it feels good to kind of make this S movement with the hips, kind of slithering like a snake. Finding what feels really good for your body. So good. So coming into neutral position, finding your tabletop. I have to probably clear my throat a few times here, so excuse me for that. Excuse me. Reaching the left foot back nice and long. Bring that leg about hip distance apart. Hip height. And begin to reach the right arm forward. So really reaching out through the heel without hyperextending the knee. So just like a nice flexion in the leg, we're creating some stability. Hug that bicep in next to the ear, palm is facing inward. See if your weight has shifted over to the right and try to square the hips off to the mat. Keeping the core engaged. Feel the heat and the energy starting to build. Continue to use your breath. Good. Inhale, really reach through the fingertips, reach through the heel, and then exhale, release the hand and the foot back down to the mat. Shake the hips from side to side. Just finding a little stretch here. Perhaps you place the back of the hand onto the mat, just stretching out that left wrist. So know the more that you engage the core, the more strength you build in your core muscles, and you press into the mat with the wide fingertips, using the resistance, the less pressure you will have on your wrist joints, okay? So taking a nice deep inhale here, begin to straighten into the right leg. allowing it to come about hip height. You don't want it to go any higher because it creates that little arch in the back and we lose our engagement of the core. Okay, so stay nice and strong here. Square the hips off. And once you've found that foundation, bring the left bicep along the ear, left palm facing inward. Keep the navel drawing up and in. Nice, strong breathing. Good, release the hand and the knee back down to the mat, shake it out. This time, placing the back of the right hand on the mat, stretching out that right wrist. And then we'll prepare for some movement here. So place the hands a few inches in front of you, walking the hands towards the top of the mat. Excuse me. And we'll prepare for our downward facing dog. So press firmly into the mat with the hands. And start to really reach. Keep the shoulder plugged into the shoulder sockets. So nice and strong in the arms. And then tuck the toes under. Sit the hips back. And just find the arms that you need for downward facing dog, right? So really press firmly into the mat, spread the fingertips, grip the mat with the pads of the fingers. Stretch back into the toes, opening up the feet and the toes, and then begin to lift the knees up off the mat. Excuse me, begin to soften the heels down towards the mat. Let's bend into the right knee and then the left. Opening up the backs of the legs, create space between each vertebrae, press away from the mat, lift through the low ribs. Doing your best to keep the shoulders engaged, spreading along the back. Biceps in line with the ears. Stay lifted and strong within the shoulders. And draw the core up and inward. Reach the tailbone nice and high. Let's take a nice cleansing breath here. So inhaling through the nose. Exhale, audible sound out through the mouth. So nice. Maybe finding some stillness. Perhaps you wiggle the hips gently. Again, you can take a slight bend in the knees as we warm up the legs and the back. Shift our gaze forward and walk ourselves up to the top of the mat. So coming into our Uttanasana forward fold, remove the blanket from the mat. So inhale and then relax, exhale. Allow the head to hang nice and heavy. Arms hang heavy. Tailbone lifts, shifting the weight towards the tops of the feet and the toes, while simultaneously extending through the heels. Nice deep inhalations, lengthening the back of the legs, the hamstrings, lifting the tailbone nice and high. Even begin to bend into the elbows, allowing them to spread to the left and the right. And really rounding into that back as if you were going into like a cat movement. So nice. Release the hand to the mat. Let's inhale for our Uttanasana, half lift. Crown of the head reaches forward, shoulders drop down the back. Nice long back here. Exhale, forward fold. Good, gentle press into the mat with the feet, slight bend in the knees. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Palms meet for prayer position and take a slight back bend, engaging the quadriceps, reaching the hands behind you. Keep the hip bones shining forward, engaging the core muscles. Exhale, hands come down through heart center prayer position. Let's take a little bit of a flow here. Just finding our movement, finding our energy, finding our flow. So inhale, arms above the head. Exhale, open the arms up nice and wide. Engage the core, protect the back. Swan dive forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, extended Tadasana. Palms come together. Slight back bend here. And exhale, folding forward. Inhale, lift halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, arms reach up above the head. Hands meet at heart center. This time, exhale, hinge at the hips. Draw the arms out by the side, swan dive forward. So nice here. Keep breathing. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Let's pause here in our forward fold. We'll step the left foot back. Finding your runner's lunge, a nice long line of energy, alignment within the ankle. So ankle and knee are in a 90-degree angle. If you find that your knee is over the toes, reaching over the toes, feel free to release that back leg and slowly walk the toes up until you reach that 90-degree angle between the ankle and the knee. That's for alignment purposes and so that we protect the knees. Like hug everything inward. So draw that right knee in, also engaging that left quadricep, hugging everything inward. Crown of the head pointing forward. Use the strength of the core here. Good. Staying lifted with the heel. Adjusting your stance. We'll inhale, bring the arms, chest and torso up, coming into our Crescent Warrior. Inhale, reach and lengthen through the torso. Perhaps again a slight back bend here. Exhale, sink it down nice and deep. Keep the core engaged. Good. Inhale, draw the hands together at heart center. Let's take a moment to inhale, reach and lengthen. And then as we exhale, we'll twist over to our right, so the left elbow coming outside of the right knee. Oops. So finding a gentle twist here, try to keep the chest open and lifted, heart lifted. So if it's in your practice and you'd like to extend the stretch, you can begin to reach the fingertips down towards the mat. And the right arm and fingertips come up to the sky, opening up the arms. So nice here. Good. Releasing the hands down to the side. Maybe stretch back with the heel. Release the right toes to the mat. Let's draw that left foot in. Heel releasing down to the mat. Inhale, lengthening through the chest and the chin. Exhale, lead with the chest. Coming into our pyramid pose. Nice deep breaths. Draw that right hip back, left hip forward. Again, hugging everything inward. Keeping the quadriceps engaged here, the legs engaged. Press into the outer edge of the left foot. So nice. Rotating that left heel back up off the mat. Find your runner's lunge. Maybe release that knee down, just finding a little opening in the front of that left hip flexor. Come back into your runner's lunge and step the left foot forward to meet the right. Find your forward fold, Uttanasana. Few breaths in and out here. Remember rounding in to the back. Perhaps you grab a hold of the outside of the ankles. Notice how far you've come so far in your practice today. Keep reaching through the heels as you shift the weight forward, lengthening the back of the leg. Good, releasing the hands down to the mat. This time we'll step the right foot back, finding your runner's lunge on the opposite side. Again, you can take a moment to release that right knee down. Make sure you have a nice 90-degree angle between the ankle and the knee. So once you've found that nice strong foundation, stay nice and strong, hug that left knee in. Adjust your foundation, creating some space between the legs if you need. Inhale, press into the mat with the left foot, reach the arms above the head. Coming into Crescent Warrior on opposite second side. So keep pressing firmly into that left foot. Keep the knee bent here. Opening up the front of that right hip flexor. Good. Inhale, reach through the fingertips. Keep the shoulders plugged in. And then exhale, maybe from just a slight back bend here. A little extra stretch in that hip flexor if that feels good. Good, coming back to center, reaching through the fingertips. Allow the palms to meet. Bringing them down through heart center. I'm going to have to adjust my stance just a bit here. Inhale, reaching and lengthening. And then as we exhale, we'll make a twist over to the right. So draw that right elbow on the outside of the left knee. Keep the core hugging in, navel hugging in towards the spine. So see here, you may have a tendency to be here trying to reach that elbow on the outside of the knee, but use the elbow to press into the knee and the knee to press into the elbow so that you're really creating this opposition to open the chest. See how the chest and the heart are open here, which then allows for a little bit more of rotation or twist or opening with the arms. Keep breathing. Some variations here. Find what feels good for your body. Good, release the hands back down, framing that left foot. Take a moment to release the right heel down to the mat and step it up just a bit, adjusting your stance. Inhale, reach and lengthen through the crown of the head, maybe fingertips meet the mat. Exhale, lead with the chest and the chin. As you draw that left hip back, keeping the quadricep engaged, and as you continue to press out through the back of the right foot, the outer edge of the right foot. Drawing the left hip back, right hip forward, hug everything inward. Find your breathing. So nice. Rotating that right heel back off the mat, taking a bend into the left knee, finding your runner's lunge once again. This time, again, you can release that right knee down, maybe just find a little stretch forward and back here. Find your neutral runner's lunge and step that right foot forward, coming into Uttanasana, forward fold. Good, press firmly into the mat with all edges of the feet. Slight bend in the knees, inhale. Bring the arms up and above the head. Exhale, allow the arms to float down by the sides. Finding your Tadasana, mountain pose. From here, let's take a moment to just soften the eyes. Feel the energy moving through the body. Making any adjustments as you press into the outer edges and the inner arches of the feet. In your mountain, your Tadasana. Navel drawing up and in, chest and heart opening. Finding a soft engagement. But softly opening the eyes here. Take a moment to inhale the arms above the head. Exhale, float them out to the side. From here, begin to shift the weight into your left foot. I'm just gonna, so you can stay at the top of your mat. I'm just gonna face you here. So press firmly into that left foot, almost as if you were coming into a tree position. So stay nice and strong. Hug everything up and in, zip it up, and bring that knee into the chest. So we're gonna do a little shin hug here. Find your strength, find your foundation. And then as we exhale, let's open that right knee up. And allow the left hand to come out to the side. Maybe you make a little mudra. So nice. And then we'll bring the right knee back into center. Hug it in once again. And then see if you can make your way into Warrior 3. So drawing that right heel behind you. Maybe your hands come together at heart center. Stay nice and strong in that left foot or leg. I had to adjust, so I'm falling out. But see if you can find your Warrior 3. Stay centered and strong. Keep the toes pointing down towards the floor. Hips are square. In your practice, and you'd like to reach the arms forward. Nice, strong Warrior 3. Good. Release that right leg down. Inhale, let's lift up halfway, and exhale, fold forward. So nice. Good. Inhale, reaching the arms up above the head. Hands come together, heart center. Start to press firmly into that right foot now. Moving on to the opposite side. Coming up onto the tiptoes of the left foot. Inhale, draw that left knee in towards the chest. Perhaps grabbing a hold of the shin and lifting the shin nice and tight into the abdomen and the chest. Soften the shoulders. Good, opening that left knee out to the side. Good, inhaling back to center, hug that knee in one last time. Stay nice and strong in your foundation, that right leg. And then as you exhale, you can either bring the hands to heart center or start shifting them forward, making your way into Warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3. But again, you can allow the arms to come out in front, reaching through the fingertips and the heel. And if you fall out, find your way back. Maybe find a drishti point to focus on, a soft focus. The more that you can engage the core and the foot, hug everything in, the more strength you'll have in your posture. Go ahead and release that left foot down. Step the left foot forward, come in to your forward fold. Inhale, lifting up halfway. And exhale, folding forward. Step both, release the hands to the mat. Step both feet back. Find your top of a push-up plank position. Release the knees down to the mat. Shift your weight forward, allowing the chest and the chin to come down. Keep the elbows hugging inward. Inhale, lift up for cobra. Exhale, release the forehead. Nice deep inhale and exhale here. Keep the hands underneath the shoulder. One more breath. So using the strength of the hands, press the hands into and away from the mat. Engage the core, sit the hips back to your heels, find your child's pose. 3 breaths in and out here. Good. Inhale, making your way up to tabletop position. Let's walk the knees forward and shift over onto our seats. And take a moment to remove any excess cushion from our hinds. Maybe you have a blanket and fold it in half, and then in half again, or maybe just one half is fine. Allow the sit bones to come right at the edge of the blanket. So barely sitting up on the edge. We'll create some height underneath our seat. If you don't have a blanket, that's okay too. And let's take a moment to draw that right knee in to the chest. Hug it in nice and tight. And draw that left foot, kind of tucking it into the crease of the left elbow as you have the knee into the right elbow. And then we call this rocking baby. There probably is another term for it, I'm not sure. To look into that. So just gently wiggle the hip and the leg side to side. Need a nice opening here. Good, find neutral center position. Hug it in nice and tight. And good, release the clasp. Draw the right knee up and in one last time. And then release the knee out to the right, drawing the inner sole of the foot into the inner left thigh. Maybe you gently bring that left foot out to the side. We're going to move into Janu Shirshasana. Janu Sirsasana. Sorry, I get a little tripped up with that one. I love it. Inhale, lengthen through the fingertips, and then exhale, shift the chest and torso over that extended left leg. Keep the foot flat. Facing down. Keep some length in that low back. Keep the sit bones connected to the surface beneath you. Keep the right hip plugging into the mat as well. So the knee is reaching down towards the mat. Perhaps you can reach the outside of the ankle or the outside of the foot without forcing it. Finding your pose. Every body is different. Every person's pose will look a little different. Two more breaths in and out here. Good. Releasing the hands down alongside the leg. Walk yourself back up to seated. Use the strength of the arm to draw the right knee in. Hug that right knee in. Maybe twisting and rotating in the ankle. Release the right leg long on the mat. Draw that left knee up and inward. Draw the shin into the chest. Take a moment to draw that left knee into the left elbow. Right foot into the right elbow. Finding our rock the baby position. Just shifting to the left and to the right here. You don't have to move this fast. You can move really slowly. I mean, you can find what pace feels good for you. Feel the sensations of the body. Sit up nice and tall. So good. Maybe finding some stillness here for a moment. Release the foot and the knee. Hug the shin in one last time. And shift the left knee out to the left. Left foot comes into the inner right thigh. Maybe shifting that right leg, extended leg out a little to the right. Inhale, reach the arms up above the head. Shift the chest and torso over the right leg. And exhale, fold from the hips. Finding some length in the low back. Inhale, really reach and create space. Keep the left hip plugged in. Breathe into the outside. The left hip, maybe the left lower back. Again, maybe there's space within the body to rest the hands gently on the outside of the ankle. Keep shifting that chest and torso over the extended leg. Once you found that nice stretch where it feels nice and comfortable, but the seat is still connected, the hip is still connected. Feel free to round into the upper back, the shoulders. Perhaps the chin gently tucks in towards the chest. Find length with each exhalation and inhalation. Two more breaths. Good. Release the hands down by the side gently and slowly walk yourself up to seated. Let's make our way onto our backs. And here I want to invite you to keep the soles of the feet together. Spread the knees out wide. We'll end in Supta Baddha Konasana or reclined bound angle. So feel free to stay here in Supta Baddha Konasana or reclined bound angle. Reclined butterfly, goddess, there's lots of terms for it. So I want to invite you to take your Shavasana here, or if that doesn't feel comfortable, you can always place blankets underneath the knees or blocks, or of course you can spread the feet out nice and long on the mat, legs out long on the mat, heels come to the outer edges. And just soften into the mat or the surface beneath you. Begin to feel the back feeling nice and heavy into the mat. Letting go of all tensions or holding. Soften the knees down towards the floor. Maybe give the hips a little shimmy shake. Allowing the hips and the low back to settle. See if you can have the palms facing up for receiving, staying open with the heart. Soften the jaw and unclench the teeth. Release the tiny muscles around the mouth and the eye. Relax the forehead and the space between the brows. Relax the scalp as it rests on the skull. The eyes sink deeper into the eye socket. Feel free to remain in your Shavasana for up to 11 minutes or more. Take this time to really send gratitude to yourself for your practice, for your dedication to yourself, to making it to your mat. We don't create time for ourselves, and nobody else will create time for us either. So I just want to thank you and honor you for showing up for yourself today, creating this time and this space for yourself to just be in your body and your physical presence, enjoying your own company, and creating boundaries, space, and time for yourself. If you're joining us live, I want to thank you for joining in with us live today. Feel free to always drop a line in the chat box below. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you in your next practice, or catch us at any time at your own home, your own convenience, your own time and place in our video library. Thank you very much. Namaste, and have a great rest of your day.